Okay, everybody. I'm Matt Scott, and this is Tony. Say hi, Tony.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, we're in the, what's the model we're in? We're in the Volvo Recharge.
This is the XC90 T8 plug-in hybrid recharge model with the Plus trim.
Okay, and we just put a full charge in the battery, didn't we?
Yep.
So this is our range on the vehicle. So we're showing
44 miles on the battery.
44 miles on the battery. And what we're going to do right now is temperature outside is about 89 degrees, it says up here in the top right. And we're gonna jump on the interstate. We're gonna set the cruise at the legal speed limit in South Dakota where we're at. And we're gonna run this out of battery and see how far we can go. And we've got the mileage, show us where we're at. We're zeroed out on the miles. So we're 0 miles out. All right, we're gonna give it a whirl.
All right. So I'll come in here.
Hope you guys enjoy the ride. We're just going to be cruising along, and we'll make this hopefully longer than expected. So
quiet.
Super quiet. And you're in electric mode?
Pure electric.
So how did you set that up?
So you come in your settings tab, go into your driving. And then I just click the
pure electric. So basically, Tony, what you're saying is we're driving like what would be seeming like an electric car, correct?
Exactly.
And you just move that shifter into the brake mode, correct?
Exactly.
And that just adds extra braking power to the vehicle.
Yep.
And charges the battery a little bit.
A little more, yep.
But you can't drive with that all the time, can you?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, you can. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Do they recommend it?
Yeah.
Okay. It's all right to do it. It doesn't hurt the battery. Okay.
No.
Cool. So what does it do? It just gives you better stopping power? It's not like one pedal drive though, like an electric car, is it?
It's very, very similar to one pedal
is it?
drive. Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
so it's similar but not the same.
Exactly.
Okay, great.
There is a function in here. So if I turn my creep mode off, basically this car acts as a one pedal drive. So now we come to a complete stop.
Oh, you didn't even have your foot on
the
the brake. Oh, that's cool. So you had to turn it off though.
I turn creep mode off.
And then that gives you that ability to do that.
Yep.
So tell me a little bit about your experience selling these. What's the benefit, or who benefits from a car like this, I guess?
Someone that benefits from a car like this is going to be somebody that drives a lot of in-town with their occasional long trip commutes.
Okay.
To where you're going to see the most regen from your driving is going to be your in-town driving.
Okay. Now we want to go with the posted speed limit. So we're still in electric mode, right, Tony?
Yep.
So there's no gasoline engine on. We're going to get it up to 65 and set the cruise. And the reason why we're doing that is because we want to see what it'll do if you're under normal driving conditions and outside of traffic. So we're going to set the cruise at 65.
Set.
And the cruise control set at 65. Now, so the benefit to somebody would be like if they're maybe driving it in town, and then they charge it at night at their house, and it'll charge up overnight at their house, right?
Yeah.
So they charge at night, and then they have the full battery, and then what they can do is they can basically just drive the car around up to, well, this one showed 44 miles of range.
Yep.
And they essentially can drive it for that time frame and not use any fuel, correct?
Yep.
What have your customers been telling you about like how have they reported back on the 90 model, not the 60, but the 90 in the recharge?
They love them. They get anywhere from 35 to 45 miles of range. In the wintertime, obviously, that decreases a little bit, but that's kind of one of the big obstacles we fought with the previous model that had 20 miles was in the wintertime it had a huge strain, which we all know about. That strain is a little less noticeable with these new ones.
Okay, so these have really improved quite a bit with the battery pack.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so a lot more. So what about like performance in the snow in the electric motors? As far as do they still drive all-wheel drive like a normal Volvo?
I still drive all-wheel drive. If you're driving pure electric in the wintertime, the way the all-wheel drive system works is the combustion engine helps power the front wheels, so simultaneously your engine will kick on once there's some slippage. But
okay, so overall it's actually really no different than driving a gasoline car.
no, it's not. Everything's powered a little differently, but it all does the same thing in the end.
So with your experience working with the plug-in hybrid and then the regular hybrid, the mild hybrid, that's just a gasoline engine, what's the real benefit of this overall besides the fuel savings? What would you say is the other thing that's nice about it?
Well, I guess you're getting into the electric phase of the cars. That's kind of where all these industries, all these manufacturers are kind of leaning towards. That's where they're putting all their money. And you know, somebody that's maybe interested in getting into an electric car but still has some range anxiety, or maybe they're just not ready for it yet, or maybe their driving habits don't really recommend them getting a full electric. This plug-in hybrid is the best of both worlds.
So it basically gives you the feel of electric car in town when it's charged.
Yeah.
And then when you can still get on the road. And Tony, there's no need to really charge this car if you're traveling, right?
Exactly.
So you could still go to a hotel in another faraway town and still just not charge it, but you can still get up in the morning and still drive the car as a normal vehicle.
Yep.
So would you say that's one of the better benefits of the vehicle?
Big time.
Okay. And your customers, they like that as well?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, now we're going to merge onto I-29 heading south, and we're encountering a little bit of traffic, so we unfortunately won't be able to probably get up to the speed. Well, it's 65 still, so we should be okay
We're good
right now until we hit or want to get up to 80 once we get in the speed limit changes. But as of right now, it was 65. But yeah, so I guess the big thing is going to be all right, cool. So we're basically going to be testing it out. Now, right now, I'm seeing over here, I'm reading up the miles pretty good. We're at 31 miles. We have not driven 13 miles. We're still in the full electric mode. And how does that come out of that electric mode? Does it ever come out of it or not? Or does it do it automatically, or does it say it's going to go to gasoline?
It'll do it automatically if the battery depletes down to 0.
Okay. Okay.
Other than that, it'll stay in pure electric mode. If we were in hybrid mode, right now the car would probably most likely be in electric. I did take it out of B mode because B mode is really going to help you out in your in-town driving. You can keep it on all the time, but it really becomes more of a nuisance when you're driving on the interstate, because obviously you want to coast as much as you can in these kind of driving conditions.
Yep. So this, we should be seeing an increase in the speed here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so right here is 80 miles an hour. So let's kick it up to 80, and we're in full electric mode still. It's so seamless, isn't it? It's like super quiet. I can't get over how quiet it is. So now we'll set the cruise at 80. And so you're working with the technology on the steering wheel there. That's the, what do they call that cruise control system for the Volvos?
They call it the pilot assist.
So it basically, like right now it's kind of self-driving.
Oh yeah.
But it doesn't totally self-drive, because it will ask you to put the hands on the wheel. And up here in the middle you can see it shows a little car and the distance between the other car. You can lengthen that up or shorten it. On the faster drives it's recommended to have a few more bars, and on the shorter ones, because it'll work in stop and go traffic. Like this car will come to a stop and continue to accelerate once you put the feet back on the ground if you're slowing down. So now we're running 80 miles an hour, and it doesn't feel any different than a normal car, does it, Tony?
No.
Do you think the acceleration goes down with it, just with the electric a little bit, or is it about the same?
With it being in pure electric mode, yeah, the acceleration definitely depletes a little bit, yes.
But it's not like, I don't feel like it's underpowered, do you?
No, not at all.
So it's got plenty of performance. So if you were to say, like, who's the perfect driver for this car, what would you say, in your opinion, and what you've had with customers, what's been their overall interaction as far as how this car drives?
Well, this is like the ultimate mid-size SUV family car. It's nothing that's obnoxiously huge, but it's enough for 6 or 7 passengers, so a nice family. Someone that really enjoys this car are customers that, like I mentioned before, most of their driving, if not all, is in town. You know, parents that have a lot of stuff to do as far as you know, shopping, sports for their kids, so on and so forth. One thing they really like is right now they can be in pure electric mode. So I mean, they see it up of sometimes 70, 80 miles a gallon. They need to go on those long trips, then
Kind of goes back to normal.
Yep. So it's,
when it goes back to normal, is this about a 23 to 27 miles per gallon on the highway type thing?
roughly, yeah.
Like, what's the worst you've seen for fuel mileage? Like if you're driving around town, there's no electricity being run, and you're just driving as a normal vehicle. Are you in the low 20s?
High teens.
High teens?
Not quite 20, yeah.
And that's if the battery's totally depleted and not charged.
Exactly.
So essentially, it works like a normal vehicle when you don't plug it in.
Yeah, yep.
And then it does have the hybrid component, so it does get better fuel mileage.
Yep.
So you maybe see 25, 26, 27 on the highway if it's not charged.
Exactly.
Okay. So essentially, is this the same engine as the B6 model XC90?
It is
just with the plug-in hybrid component.
Yep, exactly.
So there's a transmission, still an 8-speed transmission as well?
Yes.
So the transmission is the same as well. Interesting. So right now we're booking along pretty good. And let me just give you kind of the range. Looks like we was driving for like 11, well, we've been videoing for 11 minutes. There you can see, that's the miles left. It shows 21.
Right, yeah,
So we do jump in and it does deplete the battery, you know, quite a bit. But it's amazing that we're driving 80 miles an hour and have no gasoline being consumed. So if a guy lived, say, 20 miles out of town, if he didn't charge it at work and he had a high-speed drive like this, he could possibly go 25 miles. Maybe, I don't know what we're going to get for miles out of this trip, but he could possibly go 25 miles and not have any gas being used, correct?
Sure.
So that's interesting. So if he charged it at work during the day and it charged back up to 100%, he'd have a zero gas bill pretty much.
Exactly.
So here's another question for you. When you charge these, now these chargers, what level charger does it go on, or what is it? Like, how do you charge it, I guess?
Well, the car comes with a 110, which you plug into just your wall.
Okay.
Some customers do upgrade that to a 220, which you can buy online through ChargePoint, which we recommend, or any manufacturer that you'd like to choose from.
Okay. But it doesn't take a Tesla charger or a high-powered charger.
No.
So the max amount of charge you put in is about maybe like a 220, like a hot tub plug-in, or like a plug-in for like a grill or a rotisserie grill or something like that.
Yep.
Okay, so pretty easy to, most people can get connections like that in their house, but you don't necessarily need to do that, because if you do with the lower deal, you can still do, you can still plug it in with the wall and it'll charge overnight and get full, right?
Oh yeah, and then, you know, in the winter time, to help out with the battery depletion,
yeah, with the battery depletion, what
you can do is when it's plugged into your wall, use the Volvo Cars app and basically start preconditioning your car while it's still plugged into the wall, kind of help with that range a little bit.
So it's called the Volvo's Cars app. You download it on your phone, and then you have access to it on your phone to do what? Explain that to me a little bit.
So you can basically remote start your plug-in hybrid car while it's still plugged into the wall. So it'll heat your car up.
Okay, so it preconditions the car.
Preconditions the car while you're still plugged into the wall.
Wow. So it works just like an electric car, essentially.
Oh yeah.
So then in the wintertime, you get in, your car is nice and cozy in your garage, and it won't start the car at all because it's plugged in.
It's plugged in.
So there'll be no gasoline on. You won't be charging it up or anything.
Exactly.
So they're so you're talking like a pretty decent amount of like it's pretty convenient for people.
Oh yeah.
Basically.
Very
okay.
convenient.
Now, does this electric vehicle have the same room as the regular XC90? Or this plug-in, I should say?
Yes.
So they don't take up extra battery packs. There's no extra like seat issues where it moves weird or anything like that.
There's no any other seat issues. Anything that would compromise the comfort of your kids or any backseat passengers. No.
So all the seats function the same, all the doors function the same.
Yep.
So the battery pack itself must be just a little bit bigger than the other one because it is a recharge, or is that?
Yeah, so they just basically added another 24 cells to the existing battery.
Okay. And is it lithium ion, do you think? Or is that what it is? Or for the battery components, or do you know what that is yet?
I don't know.
Okay, well, we can find that out for sure and see.
Yeah.
So we've been buzzing along at about 80 miles an hour. And as you can see, we're out here in the middle of South Dakota and kind of cruising right along. How's the power feel? Does it still feel like it has some, I mean, it still feels like it's working all right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. We're hanging.
What do you think? What do you think the range is going to be? How far do you think we'll go at 80?
We're probably going to go like 30 miles.
30 miles, you think? At 80 miles an hour.
Well, we've gone 17 miles. It says we have 13 left. We're probably going to get 7 and 10 more miles left.
Okay. So we're going to get a pretty good drive out of this, you think? And that's all highway driving, essentially.
So now the engine just kicked on.
Okay, wait, the engine kicked on? Okay.
Yep. So
Can you turn it back off or not?
So the battery might be getting a little battery might be getting drained a little quick.
So now you're back to pure electric again?
So I put it back in pure electric now.
So do we want to try to just slowly accelerate to 80? See if it does it?
Yeah, so now it's not accelerating to 80 no more.
It's not accelerating to 80 right now.
No.
So at how many miles did it start to go down? So at
12 miles, we did 18 miles.
So we drove 18 miles.
Yep.
And the battery went down, but it now won't go 80 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Put it back in Pier. Let's go back to Pier. So we're going to drive it in the end till Pier. Once it stops going from Pier, we're going to just stop the car and just pull over on the side of the road if it's safe. And we're going to just see where we end up. Because right now you're fully in electric mode, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And you can see that how? Right here?
Yeah, it says pure.
So that's the mode right there. So it shows like a little power curve there.
Yeah, we are flooring it right now.
You're absolutely floored on the throttle.
We are flooring it.
Wow. So it is like not dead, but it's still good. But you're actually 100% in the throttle. And this is as fast as it'll go.
Oh,
okay, now okay, let's drop it back to Pier. So it is trying to conserve its battery. So now we're back to Pier again. We're not floored, but you're in the are you
pretty damn floored.
You're floored pretty much. Okay, that's interesting. So I didn't know it'd do that. Did you know it'd do that or not?
No.
So that's kind of an interesting learning experience, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what it's saying is it's saying, hey, we'll let you drive pure electric, but this is what we're going to cap you at. So now it's capped us out at about 75 miles an hour. So let's take a look at that, folks. So you can see 75 miles an hour, and we're rolling with pure electric at 75 miles an hour. We're going to turn up the air conditioning a little bit to try and see if we can milk a little more miles out of this thing. So we put the temperature up to more of a reasonable 74 degrees instead of a cool, balmy 80 or whatever, or 60, whatever, 5. So we'll probably get a little hot in here, but because it is pretty warm today, 87, 89, somewhere in that range.
I'm surprised they're back around.
Well, we're just going to drive till it's done. Because we don't want to go till it's 80 miles. We want to go till it's totally out of range. Okay. We're going to run this thing out of electricity. Okay. So you're not floored, are you?
No.
Okay, so it's running at 74.
It's going down slowly.
You got to admit, it's kind of fun though, isn't it, to see what it'll do?
Oh yeah.
Now, what's really cool about this though is if we were an electric car and we were doing this, we'd be screwed, wouldn't we?
It'd be a little different story, that's for sure.
So do a lot of customers see these Volvos and they think they're, do they freak out a little bit when you say you can charge it, or what do they say?
With what aspect again?
Like if they, like when customers come on the lot and you talk to them Do they say, I don't want anything that plugs in? Do they kind of get a little weird about it? And how do you overcome that with them? I mean, what do you say to a customer that's like really cautious about, I'm not gonna do an electric car? I mean, how do you handle that?
Just kind of see what their worries are, why exactly they don't want an electric car. Most of the time it's because they think they need to put something into their house or you know, make some big modifications when all it is just kind of getting familiar with the car and the capabilities of it. And
so are you tapped out at 69 miles an hour?
I'm tapped, bro.
Okay, well, let's just go around this truck and then we'll stay in electric mode. Keep going straight. We'll get behind this other truck.
I'm up to 70 now.
Now we're up to 70. So it does start to decrease the speed. So we'll get in between these two cars and we'll just set the cruise at whatever we can set it at, or run it with the throttle, see where we're at. So you basically try to convince, or not convince, but basically open up with the clients about how that vehicle handles and how it drives and how it runs, and see if it might be something they might consider.
Well, yeah, and sometimes these plug-in hybrids they're not for everybody. If you know, you're somebody where this is most of your commuting, I would definitely steer you towards a mild hybrid, a non-plug-in. You still have a battery component that helps a little bit with mileage, but you're just really not going to see a whole lot of savings with a plug-in if this is most of your kind of driving.
Okay.
So that's kind of just where you have to let the customers know that. And once we get past that, then it's pretty easy sailing from there.
So, well, the other thing too is, you know, I think a lot of people freak out because they're worried about the vehicle having, say, like issues with warranty. Like people like, those batteries are $30,000 to replace, or $5,000 to replace. Have you heard that before?
Yeah, and the biggest thing is with that, Volvo has an 8-year, 100,000-mile warranty on any battery component. And with these newer batteries, they're not like those, you know, Toyota Priuses from years ago. These batteries are divided up into different cells. So basically, the certified Volvo technician can go out and see which exact cell is bad. So it's a lot more cost effective that way. And then again, you're under warranty for 8 years or 100,000 miles.
Okay. So now I'm looking over across the way, and it's looking like, Tony, that we're down to 3 miles of range. Yeah. Let's take a look at that here really quick. So we're down to 3. I'm gonna jump to the right lane. So we're down to 3 miles, and we're rolling along pretty good. How far have we driven so far?
We have driven 25 miles.
We've driven 25 miles. Incredible. We're gonna just stay behind this semi here, and we're just gonna go till it says 0, until it won't let us. We're gonna kind of see what the car says, just to see what happens. So what is your experience? I mean, what do you think of this driving? This is the first time you've ever done this, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
And what do you think of it?
And we're really kind of
slowing down now.
Slowing down.
Let's just let everybody pass us then. So we're running 64 now.
64, and it's
all in.
I can feel it. Just kind of.
It's slowly dying. Let's go one more exit and see, because this one, we're gonna make this exit. It says 1 mile. We'll go one more exit. Then we'll just pull over on the side of the road once it's dead, so we can record all the numbers here for the people watching. And yeah, I think this has been fascinating personally. I did not know you could drive this vehicle at that highway speed for so long, because we went quite a ways at 80 miles an hour, didn't we?
Oh yeah.
Like 18, 20 miles or something. What are we up to for miles now? 26 miles. So yeah, the higher speeds does affect it. It's not as good as maybe in town, probably, huh?
No, if we were doing it in town, we most definitely, on a day like today, with it being about 85, 90 degrees, we probably would have gotten 40, 45 miles out of the battery.
Okay, so I saw it just switch to 0. So now it's showing 0. But we're still actually driving electrically.
We're just hanging on.
We're just hanging on to a thread. And we're driving 64 miles an hour, and you're all the way in it.
Oh yeah.
So he's floored, and it's letting us drive it electrically still. It's saying you can drive it electrically. That's very interesting, isn't it? And now it's up to 67, still showing 0 miles. Now in a minute, we're gonna see what the car says, because now we're because it's not gasoline engine at all yet.
No.
Because we're still showing pure electric there. So we're still showing pure. Now, do you think something will show up on the dash,
Oh, there you
Tony?
go.
What does it say?
The little drop. You see the little drop indicator? That means the gas. So now the gas is on.
Okay,
And it says
so
hybrid.
So
down
pull up
here.
the meter up there and let's take a look. We'll pull over at this next exit for safety. What's it say? Can you read it to him?
So we went 27 miles.
Okay.
We got 335 miles a gallon.
Or 393 miles per gallon.
Yeah.
393
Well,
miles
now
per
it says
gallon.
293 is what.
Okay, because it's dropping because we're
Now
driving
we're
down.
driving gas.
We were up to 293 miles per gallon. So now we're just back into normal mode. We'll kick it back in, and we'll pull over and test it all out. So